Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please do how to like, share, comment, and subscribe. So we'll be learning how to cut a basic skirt today, a basic skirt that fits. So let's get into today's tutorial. So these are the measurements we'll be needing. We'll be needing our waist, our hip, our waist to hip, and our skirt length. So now the first thing we are going to do is to divide. My hip is 45, so I'll divide the hip into 2. Now that is 22 and half. That's 22 and half. So I'm going to measure 22 and half like this. 22.5, yes. Then just mark it down like this, 22.5. Then now rule it. So then I will now divide this 22.5 into 2. Then that gives us 11.25. That's 11.25. Then you just mark it down. Then rule a straight line. Rule a straight line. Now we have this ready. So what we are going to do next is to measure our waist to hip measurement. Now my waist to hip measurement is 9.5. The standard measurement for waist to hip is 8 and 9 inches. 8 works for short people and 9 for tall people. That's the standard measurement. But you know, there are some people that they have lower hip, so sometimes the measurement differs. So you might need to measure your client. But 8 to 9 inches is standard measurements. So I'll measure 9.5. That's my waist to hip line measurement. So measure 9.5 like this. And I'll measure 9.5 like this. Measure 9.5 like this. Then I'll roll it. So we have it like this. So now I'm going to measure my skirt length. So my skirt length is 23. Now this skirt is stopping above my knee. So my skirt length is 23. So I'm going to measure 23. It is stopping above my knee. That's where I want the skirt to stop. So I'll measure 23 here. Then I'll measure 23 here. Then I'll rule it. So what we are going to do next is to measure our break points. For me, I go up by 5 inches from my knee line. Now what I mean by break point is where the shape will start. Now if it's a long gown that I'm making now, so you know there has to be a break point where you just take the shape like this. So for me, my break point is 5 to 3 inches above my knee line, but I make use of 5 inches. It works well for me. So above my knee line is 20 inches. Let me just come up by 20. It's 20 inches. So let me just come up here by 3 inches. This is 23. Now remember that this skirt is stopping above my knee. Remember that it's stopping above my knee. So if the skirt is stopping on my knee exactly, that's 25 inches. So coming up by 5 inches is 20 inches. So this is my break point. So this is my break point. So this is the hem. This is the waist to hip measurement, and this is my waist. So this is my waist measurement. So now we are going to take our waist measurement from the waist here. Now my waist divided by 4 is 7.75. So this is 7.75. Now we are going to add our dart. Now for that, you add 1 inch to it. This is the dart allowance, 1 inch to it. So add it to your waist measurement. Now this is our hip measurements already. These are hip measurements already. You have 0.25. So you just take your ruler. You take your ruler and then you rule it. So you just rule it. So you have it this way. Now from this hip line, you come down by 1.5 inch. You can actually come down by 2 inches, but I just love coming down by 1.5. So you either use 1.5 or 2 inches. No, now at the break point here, I come in by 1.5 inch. You know, you have to shape it. It can't be straight. You have to shape it so that you have a better fit to your body. So you come in by 1.5 inches. Some people used to, it depends on how firm you want it to be on your body, and 1.5 inches works well for me. So you now rule it to the 1.5. Then you bring your ruler from this 1.5 that you measured here, and you rule it this way. There you have it. Now we are going to work on the back. Now to eliminate zipper bulge at the back. To eliminate zipper bulge, I come in by half inch. I come in by half inch here. So that half inch, then I now roll it to this hip line. You know our back is not straight. The back is not straight. So that is why I am taking in half an inch. So I am going to start my measurement from this place. Now my waist is 7.75. Now this is 7.75. Then I'll add 1 inch for the dart. Do not forget the dart. Then this is it. And you take your ruler and then you rule it this way. Then you rule it this way. Now we'll do what we did at the front. We're going to do it at the back here too. Come in by 1.5 inches rather. Then come in by 1.5 inches here too. Then you rule it from this 1.5 inches that you mark there. Then you rule it. Then you connect it. Then you connect it. Then you bring it together. There we have it now. So now we are going to add our darts. For the darts, use your nipple to nipple measurements. That's your nipple to nipple measurements. Mine is 4. Most times 4. Almost everybody you can use 4 actually. Maybe for plus size can I use 5. So mine is 4. This is 4 here. Mine is 8 inches. No, 8 inches divided by 2 is 4. Now this is on fold like this. Once you open it, it will be 8. So my bust point is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this is 4 here. So for my darts, I come down by 5 inches. 5 inches works well for me. So 5 inches works well for me. This is 4 inches. So then I'll bring my ruler. Then I'll connect it. Now remember that we added 1 inch for the darts here. We added 1 inch for the darts. So just bring half inch here. Then half inch here. Then you connect it this way. Then you connect it this way. Connect it this way. Then we have our dart measurements. So when you take in the dart, you will see now. You see that we will go back to our 7.75 now. See? We have our 7.75 measurements. So here too, we are going to take our darts. So we have 4 inches that we used at the front. So just draw a straight line like this. Draw a straight line. draw a straight line. Also using 5 inches for the back too, 5 inches. Then come in by half inch, the half inch that we added for the dart. Then you connect it. So this is what we have. So this is what we have. So now we are done drafting our skirt. We only need to add the zipper allowance now. You know we're going to be starting from this place. You will eliminate this. We no longer need this. This is where I started from. This is where I started my measurement from. So I'm going to be using 1.5. I'm going to be using 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So this is 1.5. This is 1.5. There's 1.5. This is 1.5. This is 1.5. 1.5. Don't mind me the way I'm just so just roll it like this. Then you roll it. Just connect it. So here we have our basic skirt measurement. It's not hard. This is it. If you follow this method and you just follow this method, add your sewing allowance on the fabric. When your client comes for fitting, you don't need to be shaping it several times to get a perfect fit. So I'm going to cut this out now and I'll be transferring it to fabric. Cut it out. Now we have our skirt pattern ready. You can now decide to close your dart. If you don't want that on fabric, you know some people don't like it. So if you don't want the dart on the fabric, you can now decide to close your dart. Close it in. Close your dart. Then you take this paper tape. Let me do it. You bring this paper tape. Bring it this way. Then you close your dart. Then you close it. Or you can decide to just trim off this dart from this side, or just take it in like this. So we have our pattern like this. So you can choose to close the dart like this. Take your paper tape, then close the dart, so you won't have to sew the dart on your fabric. Or you can leave it and then you sew it. Now remember that I didn't remove I didn't remove the band inches. I didn't remove what I'll be using for the band. I want 2 inches for my band, and I used exactly my 9.5 where my waist is starting from. So I didn't remove it. So I'm going to cut out my band from this skirt, and I'm going to cut out my band. Now when you can decide to just like cut a straight band for your skirt if that is what you want. And there's also another method of also cutting your band, but this is what I want to do. So I'm going to cut out my band from my skirt, and this is what I am going to do. I am going to close my dart. I am going to close my dart. close my dart. So just close it this way. And this is optional actually. For a better fit for your skirts, you can come down by half an inch. Come down by half an inch like this. Come down by half an inch. Then you come down by half an inch. Then you trim it off like this. Just to give it a better fitting. It is optional actually. It is not a must. It is optional. Even if you don't do this, you come out well. So just come down by half an inch that way. So then I'm going to measure my 2 inches. I want 2 inches for my band. So this is what I'll be using. So I will mark it. This is the up. This is the down. Remember that this will be on fold. So this is my band. And this is what I'm going to cut out. So this is my skirt now. So let me put the front here. So for the back too, I'm going to close the dart. So I'm going to close the dart. So I'll come down by 2 inches. So I'll come down by 2 inches and then I'll cut it. So is the band for the back. So this is it. So this is what we have. So I already even, okay, let me just mark it. This is the up and this is the down. So I'm going to be cutting out my skirts now. I'll be transferring it to fabric. So I'm going to place it. Now I'm going to add 1 inch allowance at the hem. You know, we didn't add seam allowance to it. Then I'll add 1 inch at the sides too and ½ inch at this upper part. So I'm just going to pin it down. Let me pin it down. So pin it down. So pinning it down, we help you. So you pin it down. Pin it down. So just add half inch here, half inch, half inch, add half inch allowance, half inch. Add half inch allowance. Then at the side I will add 1 inch allowance, 1 inch allowance to the sides, 1 inch. For this tutorial we are going to be doing the back seam method, the inseam finishing. So all our sewing will be inside, it will not be showing outside. So add 1 inch. At the end to add 1 inch. So you add 1 inch allowance. So this is 1 inch. This is like almost 1 inch. So add 1 inch to it. Okay, this is 1 inch. Now, when you are cutting the hem of your skirt, or whether it's sleeve or anything, just turn it this way. You see what I'm doing now? Turn it this way. Turn it this way before cutting. Fold the allowance in, then you cut it. I will show you something now. So then you cut it like this. So this is what we have. Now when I open it, you can see the way this is. It is not exactly straight. So it's better for you to fold it in this way. So that, okay, now I'm going to use lining to turn it. So it's not going to be an issue. But if you are not using lining to turn your fabric, it is always advisable to fold in your excess allowance this way, so that when you are taping it like this, there won't be shortage at the sides there. If you just cut it straight like this, there might be shortage when you are taping it like this. So that is just it. So we'll be cutting the back to add half inch to the side. 1 inch to the side, 1 inch to the hem, and half inch. So we'll be doing exactly what we did here. We don't need to add zipper allowance to it because we already added zipper allowance when we were drafting. So I'm going to pin it down to pin it down. Now this side can't be straight. You removed half an inch, so it can't be straight. Because we removed half an inch. So measure your 1 inch from here. These are 1 inch. These are 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch. Sorry for the too many marks here. So this is it. is the 1 inch that we're using. We mark 1 inch here too. So now we're going to cut it out. Then you do exactly the same for the lining. Cut what you have here. So that is what you are going to cut for the lining too. Okay, this is it. Know the back, there's going to be zip there. So you are going to slash it. Cut it into two. So this is what we have.